everyone, it's Amy Breyers and I'm back with another video, and here I'm going to talk about Breyerfest 2023. Tickets have gone on sale today. Breyer has fully announced its complete lineup, so I thought now would be a good time to go through the complete lineup, which is a whole 24 models, and give you my thoughts, opinions and a little bit of info about them just to get you in the mood for Breyerfest. So without any further ado, let's start with the celebration model. So this is Bravo 54, who has been picked to be this year's celebration horse. So he will come with every online traditional ticket and any of the all access or VIP tickets, I believe. He also seems to come with a little sash this year, which is quite cool. He's got a little accessory, and he is on the Trakehner mould with the new updated tail. He's this nice bay colour and he's pretty simple, but I actually really like the celebration horse. He's not my favourite. I still think I prefer Danny and Ballino Castle from previous Breyerfests. Oh, and of course Nico from last year. So he's probably my least favourite celebration horse in the last couple of years since online Breyerfest has been a thing. But I think he's a nice choice for the theme, and I can kind of see why the owners would have picked him for the mould. As when you watch the videos of the real horse, it does look very similar to that mould in certain postures. So I can see it. I know some people are a bit disappointed that it's more of a vintage, older mould, but on the whole, I think he's quite cute. So I will probably be keeping one in my herd just as a kind of little memento from Breyerfest. Then we get into the event stablemates. So the event stablemates are available with general admission tickets if you're going in person, and there is also a stablemate ticket option online as well. And there are 4 stablemates in this event stablemates pack. So you will be assigned 1 randomly with each ticket, although I believe there are sometimes like a whole 4-pack set that's released. So we're starting off with Wheeler. So Wheeler is on the brand new Halfling the mould, which debuted with the Stablemate Club last year. I really love this mould, and this is my favourite of the event stablemates I'm going to show you. He's a lovely glossy bay, and he's supposed to be a Dartmoor pony, which I think the mould you can get away with just about. And yeah, I love everything about this model. I really want to try and get Wheeler, so I do debate getting a stablemates ticket, but I know with my luck I probably wouldn't get one, so I might have to track him down on the secondary market. Then next up we have Teamster. So Teamster is a Irish draft model from the stablemates. He's like a champagne type colour, and it's really adorable. I really like this mould too, so again I'm quite happy with this choice if I were to get one. We also have Whip, who is available as an event stablemate. This is on the mini Britian mould, and it's actually a really nice bay Sabino-y type colour. I think he's quite cute. And then finally we have Navigator. Now Navigator's on an older stablemate mould. It's on the G2 Saddlebred, and is this chestnut pinto, which I think may be glossy from looking at the photos, but I'm not 100% sure. So these 4 stablemates make up the event stablemates, which are either, as I say, randomly assigned, or sometimes you can purchase a full 4-pack. And I think it comes with a VIP ticket anyway as a 4-pack. Moving on, we're going to get into the special runs. So this is usually the part most people are excited about, is the special runs. And this year Breyer have done something a little bit different for online Breyerfest and this kind of hybrid event that they're hosting now. So last year, if we cast our minds back, if you were an online ticket holder, you could not purchase special runs. They did eventually give you a random selection gambler's choice type special run, but you had to pay $100 for these and had absolutely no say in what you got sent. If you watched my videos last year, you'll have heard my story and how I got really disappointed last year by pulling my least favourite special run, which was some bears, that I then sold on for quite a loss. But anyway, I think Breyer have taken on board some of the feedback from last year and have now changed the format slightly for the hybrid event. So if you have an online traditional ticket, you can now purchase 1 special run, and it's a select number of special runs. So there's 4 special runs that you can purchase online, and you can put in a preference form for these, which I think is going to be a deadline of May. So they're going to be sent out in the springtime, which is great because I think this gives you more likelihood of getting a model you want, and you'll be paying the regular price for them, so $60 to $75 depending on the model. I'm really happy about this announcement. I think it's a really nice way to balance Breyerfest in person with Breyerfest at the park, because there's still models there that are exclusive to in-person Breyerfest, so there's still plenty of incentive for people to go in person. Not that you need another incentive to just be around other hobby people on horses, but there's still some models there to motivate people to go to the park, but there's also something to keep online people happy and not rely so much on pickups and the secondary market, which is brilliant from a cost perspective, especially as someone like me who's international. Anyway, without any further ado, let's talk about these special runs. So we're going to start with the in-person only special runs. So these special runs are not available online. You will need a pickup if you're not going in person, or to buy it on the secondary market. So starting off, we've got Speos. He is a very nice chestnut on the brand new Animal mould from the Premier Club that debuted last year in 2022. I think he's a really nice model. I am not sure if he's a little bit flat in the shading. I can't really tell from Breyer's promo pictures, and I never fully trust them. But I do really like this mould, and I do really like seeing him in this nice chestnut colour. I believe there's 2,400 of him available, and he will be $65. I think he'll be quite a popular one this year, as I think quite a few people like the Animal mould, although it does seem to have some kind of love-hate relationship within the hobby, but I do think he will be one of the most popular ones this year. Next up, we've got Nemea. Again, this is one I've seen quite a few people really liking, and he is essentially on the Akelteke Altanai molds and has been done like Greek pottery. So he's got kind of a chariot scene on his side. The only thing I'm not so keen on is his red mane. I feel it detracts from the actual like decal and theme of him. I know it is just kind of tie in with the Greek theme, but I'm just not a fan of the red mane. I'm not a massive decorator person anyway. I am quite picky with my decorators, and as much as I really like the mould, I'm just not that fussed on this model, so I'm not going to be trying to track him down or anything. If you do like him though, there are 2,200 of him available, and he will be $75. Then following on from him, we've got Peanutine. So Peanutine is on Brighty mould, which is the Dirtle Donkey mould, and I believe this is what we have this year for the Animal special run. I really like this little donkey. I really actually need to get a Brighty in my collection. I feel like I don't have any, and I kind of feel like I'm missing out of like a basic model that's in most collections. But I do really like this little Pinto donkey. She's very cute. Again, it's not like a massive need. I'm not gonna really hunt her down necessarily, but I do quite like her. She's 2,000 pieces and $60 if you're after her. Then finally, oh no, not finally, we've got two more that are in person only, sorry. We've got Jump and Drive. So Jump and Drive's on the Bristol mould, and there's this really sooty buckskin kind of like Sabino-y jumper, oh no, splash jumper, sorry. And I think we've got kind of blue eyes from what I can see there in the photos. I do quite like this model. Again, it's not one that I'm desperately in need of. I am trying to be a bit more picky with my collection. I like it, but I don't love it, if that makes sense. So he's 2,300 pieces and $65. I think this model may have blue eyes as well. I don't know if I imagined that, but when I was looking at the photos, I seem to make out some blue eyes. I think he'll be quite popular. Again, the Bristol mould is a really popular mould, and it is a really pretty colour. So I think we will see Jump and Drive be again within the top couple of choices for this year. Finally, we are getting now to the last of our in-person only in-person only special runs. So we last have Scurry here, and Scurry's a little fell pony. Well, not a fell pony, but on the fell pony mould, and is a little bay pinto. There's 2,400 pieces of her and $60. So again, I think this is a cute mould. I like it, but I don't love it. I feel like this is the theme for me with Breyerfest this year, is I like a lot of the models, but there's actually very few that I love, which is great for my bank account. I do like that they've used the Emma fell pony mold here, because I don't think they could have done a driving theme without using it. It's such a iconic like driving breed and driving mold. So I'm glad to see her popping up, and I do think she's very cute. As I said, not a need for me, but I think she's going to be a really nice model there. So next up, we're going to carry on with special runs, but we're doing the both in-person and online access. So you can get these at the park, or you may be able to get these online with a traditional access ticket, and you'll put in a preference and be randomly allocated one of these models if you're online. So if you want to buy more than one special run and you're online, you do need to buy more than one ticket, unfortunately, but at least we're getting somewhere with some access to them. Anyway, the first up, and my absolute favourite, I think, of this year's Breyerfest special runs is Araba. So this is on, again, a new Premier Club mould. This is the Zafira mould from last year's Premier Club, an Arab mare. And she's a black Sabino, total of 2,400 pieces, and will be $65. She's really got something about her that I really like. I think it's the black and white Sabino pattern and how they've done it. I just think it looks really stunning on this mould. It's not a mould that I would say I'm like a massive like wanting to start a conga or really obsessed with. I do like the mould and I do have Zafira, but I think for me it's the colour that's really sold this model to me. I've just thought about all the special runs several times, and she's the one I keep coming back to as my favourite. So I will probably be putting her as my first choice for special runs. I am debating getting 2 tickets because there are a few others that I do like as well. But I think if I have to only have 1 ticket, I would be putting her top of my list. I know, again, she's a bit of a love-hate mould. Some people really like the mould, some people really hate it. I wouldn't say it's a perfect mould, but this colour is what is speaking to me here at the moment. Okay, moving on from Araba, we've got Surrey and Axel. So this is the Lady Phase and the Vintage Stock Foal, who are done as a pair of Appaloosas. The Lady Phase is a really interesting pattern. She is a leopard Appaloosa, but she's kind of almost like a minimal spot leopard Appaloosa. I do quite like her. I'm just not very keen on the foal at all. It's not a mould I like for foal moulds. It just doesn't really speak to me. So again, my kind of opinion on these guys is they're nice, but they are not a need, and they would probably be at the bottom of my preference list for special runs for available online. We have Wells up next. Again, this guy is really nice. He's on the Shenandoah mould, which is one of my favourite moulds, and I do have a little conga going, so I do kind of want to get Wells as well. He's a dapple grey with kind of white socks and a white stripe, and I think he's a really nicely done model. I hope that the dapples don't come out too fish scaly, but I think he will be very popular again because of the mould here. Quite a lot of people are into Shenandoah. There's going to be 2,300 pieces of him available, and he will be $70. I think I forgot to say for Surrey and Axel, the Appaloosas, they are also 2,300 pieces and $70. Finally, the last special run, again, this is available both to in-person people and online, is the Stagecoach Surprise. So this is this year's surprise horse for the Driving Forward theme. I've got to say that I have no idea what the surprise horse is going to be this year. I still don't really have a thought of what it's going to be, so maybe I'll make a separate video when I've had time to think over what moulds I think might be this year's surprise horse. We won't find out what the mould is until the morning of Breyerfest on the Friday, and there's going to be a total of 7,700 pieces. We don't know how many different models that's split across in terms of variation, and the surprise horse is $85. So I think for me, my special run preference list is going to go Araba, then probably Wells, then the surprise, and then the Surrey and Axel, the Appaloosas. I don't think I'll mind getting any of those 4 models, so I do feel a lot better about getting special runs this year compared to last year, because I know at least if I get any of them, I will like them, I think. But just really happy to have access to them this year. So anyway, we're going to have to keep going because they've still got quite a few models left to cover. So we're going to go on to the limited editions now. So these are available to everyone. Whatever type of ticket you have, you can get access to the limited editions. So we're starting off for the limited editions with Via Latea. Via Latea is a white Italian trotting mare. That's the one. And she's on the, again, new Premier Club mould Constantia from last year. So Breyer has actually used all 3 Premier Club models from last year as quite easy to get models in this year's Breyerfest, which was a bit of a surprise. But I do think this mould really, again, suits the theme fantastically. The real mare is super pretty. I'm just not sold on this model, and the reason I'm not sold on her is that I feel she's quite plain. I know that's not her fault. Like, the real mare, as I say, is really nice, but I feel this model just has only a tiny little bit of pinking. There's not much shading. It's a nice model, but again, it's not something that I'm desperate for because I have Constantia in my collection and I feel she's a little bit more interesting. So I'm probably not going to get her. I may change my mind nearer the time, but at the moment I'm not planning on getting on her. She will be 3,000 pieces and $75. Then we have our next limited edition traditional, who is HD Harkness. And again, another portrait horse like most of the limited edition traditionals are. This is on the Troubadour Morgan mould. He's a nice bright bay. He's very simple, but this seems to work really well on this mould. I do have Morgan Questinator's son, who is again a completely plain horse, but I absolutely adore this model. So I think I will really like HD Harkness. From what I can see, this model has a very small kind of coronet band type marking over detailed hoof and a little snip. And I think he's adorable. I have got kind of a mini Troubadour Conga going on at the moment, so I am probably gonna get him as well to join in that theme. Again, if you want him, then it would be 2,500 pieces and $70. So it's quite good availability for all of these limited editions. Finally, of the traditional portrait horses for the limited editions, we've got FVA's Grand Design Tilly. So this is on the very popular Othello mould. I think this will be the most popular of the limited editions this year. It's a drum horse mare, which is interesting as Othello is usually a stallion mould. I'm not sure if they've ever done a mare on the Othello mould before. I'd have to look up all the different releases they've done. But certainly I think this mould really suits the real horse when we look at the pictures. It's a liver chestnut Sabino type model. It seems to have really nice detailed eyes from what I can see when I have a look at the photos as well of the model. And there's 2,500 pieces and $75. So overall, these models I hope should be fairly accessible to everyone. So moving on to sort of more limited editions from the store that you can get your hands on, we've got Delft, who is our classic decorator for this year. And this is done like
correction, this is actually based off some 17th century pottery. I just didn't pay enough attention to the Breyerfest blog.
Very pretty little model. I'm not, again, a massive decorator fan, and I don't need this model, so I won't be getting them. But if you are interested, there's 2,000 pieces and it would be $30. Moving on, we have stablemates now, so we're going down the scale a little bit, and this is the Best of Breyerfest Series 4 set. I absolutely adore the Best of Breyerfest sets. I think every year the stablemates and the quality of the stablemates that come out of them is amazing, so I will be looking to get this set. And this set's based on 2013 Breyerfest Denims and Diamonds. It seems that they tend to pick a theme of a Breyerfest from yesteryear each year, and then they remake some models in a miniature scale. So we'll go through the individual models. So we've got Single Tree first, and Single Tree is on the mini Fireheart mould, which I adore. I love the Fireheart mould generally, but the mini Fireheart mould has my heart. So I will be buying the set mainly for the mini Fireheart. He's a little bay pinto, and I just think really cute. I can't complain. We then got Liverpool, who's a dapple grey on the Magnolia stablemate mould. She's very pretty. I'm not usually a massive fan of the mould, but I do really like this colour. So I think she is definitely one of the favourites from this set. Then we have Whippletree. Again, they're using a very popular mini mould. So this is the mini George mould. Again, came out with the Premier Club last year. and they've done this to kind of a vintage palomino colour. I've got to say I'm kind of disappointed with the colour they've chosen for this mini George. I think it just doesn't seem to translate very well on the stablemate. I don't know, maybe it's dodgy promo pictures again, but I'm not a massive fan of the colour, but I will collect the model because I need all the Georges basically, whether they're mini or traditional, I need them, so I'm getting them. Moving on, we've got Hames, the mini Missouri Foxtrotter in this kind of red dun pinto. Really nice pattern, really nice model. Again, I do really like this one. And then finally we've got Landau, which is probably my least favourite from this rest of Breyerfest set. This is kind of like a Bay Roan Blanket Appaloosa on the driving mould. Mainly not a fan because I don't really like the driving mould that much, but the pattern's nice and I like the others, so if I get the set I will probably keep Landau as well. So that's our stablemates done. We've also got Sulky from the store, so this is the plush this year. It's wearing kind of a Breyerfest colours for like the jockeys wear when we see the trotting races. I'm not sure if there's a technical name, I do apologise. So it's $2,500 for the plush this year and it will be $20. I haven't collected any previous Breyerfest plushes. I'm probably not going to get this year's plush. I tend to buy a t-shirt instead. That's like my non-model thing that I collect every year from each Breyerfest I attend. But very cute. I know I can see the appeal of these little plushes. And then finally, for kind of the limited edition type models, we've got Phaeton. I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure. This is a glass clearware model, so every year they do a clearware model as well. This is on a mould called Calliope, which I think has been a porcelain, like American saddlebred. I've never seen it kind of produced in any other scale apart from maybe a mini Winnie, it looks like. But this is the glass crystal for this year, 2,200 of those, and it will be $50. I don't collect the crystals. I'm a bit scared about international shipping them over here and them breaking, and I just don't need to collect more different types of models, so I'm not going to be getting that one. Finally, we are nearly at the end. We've got 2 more models to look at. So we have the online only models. So these models will only be sold online. You can get them if you've got an in-person ticket, as you'll have access online as well, but they just won't be selling them at the park from what I believe. So we've got Studebaker, this is a traditional online model, Palomino Pinto on the Yasmin mould, looks pretty, but again, I just don't know, I'm just not feeling her. I think it's, again, I'm not a massive fan of the mould because I find it's quite tippy and I'm just not gelling with it. I don't know. So I probably won't be getting this one. I think this one might be a bit pearly looking at the pictures as well. I'm not sure, I could be wrong with that. But she doesn't really speak to me, but I do think she is very pretty. So she will be 2,500 pieces and $75. Finally, we have a little online stablemate called Buggy. I do really like this little stablemate. It's on the Django mould, a very popular mould for stablemates, and it's a little Bay Roan Appaloosa. Very pretty and will be $15 and there's 2,000 pieces, so again hopefully should be fairly good to get access to. I will be trying to take a little Buggy home with me as well because I do think this mould is really cute and I do like the pattern on it. So in summary, what am I hoping to get from Breyerfest this year? So obviously I'm going to be getting one of the celebration horses. I would like to get Wheeler from the event stablemates and also maybe Whip as well, the little Britian. I would really like to get Araba. As I said, this is my absolute favourite model of Breyerfest this year, so I will be putting her down on my preference list as number 1. I'd like to get Wells as well, so I may look at getting a second ticket to try and get 2 special runs, even if I didn't get picked for both of them. I do like all 4 models, so hopefully I'd get something that I liked as my second model. And then I would like to get HD Harkness from the limited editions, as well as FVA Grand Design Tilly. Really like both those models. I want the Best of Breyerfest set, as I've already said. and buggy. So I've got a few models on my want list, but not like everything. I've been a little bit pickier this year. And yeah, overall I think the models are really nice for Breyerfest. It's not my favourite Breyerfest lineup. I think I preferred more sort of different colours lineup as like my favourite lineup. But I am looking forward to Breyerfest. I think it gives me something to look forward to for the summer. I love the run up to Breyerfest, and I just love the atmosphere around Breyerfest weekend. I dedicate a whole weekend to the hobby, and it's just a fab time. So yeah, that is kind of my summary of Breyerfest this year. I've had to try and whiz through it as quickly as possible, but there's 24 models, so there wasn't really going to be a way of making this a very quick video. I hope you enjoyed looking at the models with me and just having a quick recap of everyone that's available. I hope you're coming to Breyerfest, whether that be in person or virtually like myself. And I will see you again in another video soon, probably with some more lead up to Breyerfest over the coming months, as well as other hobby content. Take care now, and bye bye.